Hi, Cancer. Can you hear me okay? All right, welcome to this space. Thank you for being here. So, you were last on the roster. And what was interesting is I thought I had everything all done. I was like, yep. I was like, Leo's the last one. Leo's the last one. And then I was like, wait a second. I was like, where's Cancer? Like, where's the moon? So there's an emphasis here. Libra, you're square, and Libra and Aries, which makes a T-square to you. Both of them talked about coming within, right? These are all cardinal energies too. It's really interesting. But if you're sitting in the 12th house, then this is a time of replenishment. Right, where's the moon? If we're in Pisces season and it's night, say you were on the ocean and there's no moon, which the new moon was actually very recent. There's no moon, you can't see anything. It means you can see the stars really well. But I guess this would be sort of a time of just observation versus pushing forth. Okay? And what's interesting, let me choose a lucky on my cigarettes. I always do that. Let's do a C. For consideration, for Cancerian energy, for everybody needs to feel good, right? To make the world a better place. Feel good about where they are and where they've been and where they'd like to go, right? Triangle. Conscientious. Clear. Considerate. Did we say that? Cleansing. Chill. So you and Leo I've chose a rune for you. And interestingly enough, you also received the little Irish acorn, which I just added into my runes for some reason, and it's the only thing that's not a rune in there. And it came out first, just like Leo's, and it has the word fearless on the back. Can you see that? So I want you to know that if there is any fear, there will be less of it. This could also be the focus, right? 12th house to me is all about self-undoing. But only you can do it. And mostly through rest and taking time to be quiet. So what's fascinating to me is you actually received the rune of water. But you received it Merkstave, or what would also be known as reverse. This rune, and there's sometimes they're called different names, but Laguz, Laguz. Now the thing is when I first looked at it, I was like Wunjo, which is actually a thorn, like on a plant. It can also represent like a pregnant woman's belly, but it represents joy, right? Like a growth. It can also be sort of like a bud that, comes off of the tree after a long winter. But I guess you have to do this too. Now, Laguz is about flow, right? Again, it's water and that which conducts things. So because you have it in the reverse, it emphasizes, it's so interesting. It says, there is a counsel against overreaching and excessive striving, right, in this time. Drawing Laguz reversed is a warning against trying to exceed your own strength, right? You have to know where you're at, or to operate beyond the power you have funded to date in your life, right? What you have funded, which means you're like, okay, I want to fund that. I want to support that, whatever that is. Now it is again, you can only do what you can. Now, this also indicates at times the intuitive side of you, at least in this time frame, may be languishing, leaving you a bit out of balance, okay? So what is called for now is to go within and to honor the receptive side of your warrior nature, which, mind you, when I was really, there was this one time where I was really depressed, and I found this book about samurais or ninjas, and they classified it as the warrior, and it taught me one of the greatest lessons in my life, which is, it's still hard to keep up with sometimes, but it's helpful. It's like, if these were the last moments, if this was the last moment, like, how would I want to react? You know, is this what I'd want to be doing? Is this what I'd want to say? Is this how I'd want to feel? Etc. Regardless of the circumstance or whatever you're going through, because I guess this gives a kind of acceptance to what has been so that you can be good with where you're at now, right? To what you have funded up until this point. Now, actually, I want to... One second. What did we say? Water second? Wanda second? Wanda. Magic Wanda. Which... Okay, if you take this time... And there's a triangle here, right? Or they're like a pyramid. Capricorn, your opposite, actually talked about a magic wand, right? Because if you take this time, what happens here... This rune, as we move forward, right? Probably when spring comes, or maybe even a little bit before. It could be a couple months. I also see there's something September. 9 years ago, also. This rune is all about fluidity. You know what I mean? It's the flow of emotion. It's the flow of, like, a good flow in your career. You know, it's a good flow with your relationships with others. And it gives you the ability to immerse yourself in the experience of living without having to evaluate or understand it. Right? But right now, there must be something that you have to sort of accept. Because I guess you need to steady yourself or settle yourself in some kind of way. And I'm also seeing the word surrender in a sense. So that you can tap in more to your intuitive nature, right? So that it's more of recognizing your own rhythms. It also says Lagus signifies what alchemists used to call the conjunctio, or the sacred marriage, right? So if you have any conjunctions in your map, which are stars that are very close, or even anciently speaking, they used to say it's any star that's, if you have multiple stars in one house, that's a conjunction. It's a sacred marriage, right? And it says in fairy tales, it is the end where the hero and the heroine live happily ever after, but for whatever reason, that is not happening in this time right now, because someone needs to evaluate or understand more of one's own emotional needs, right? Primo. Okay. I love you, Cancer. Thank you for being patient with that intro. So you have one card. We're going to go one at a time, not overwhelm it, okay? Cancerian energy. Let's see what your first card is. Harmony. How pretty. Sitting in the sunshine. Getting some sunshine. Watching the birds. Sitting on the ground, right? Sitting low. Sitting low. Get low. What's that song? Get low, get low, get low. But it's not trying to go underneath some, what's that when you roller skate and you go underneath the bar? You know, it's like, oh, get low, get low. It's like, no, just get, I guess 12th house is like getting low in yourself. You know, maybe some of you want to do some, like, you know, excuse me, but some stretching, you know, in yourself, you know, kind of, you know, your square is Libra, so one of your biggest gifts and lessons is to find balance between, well, within you. Because this helps the balance between you and others, which I know you want to be so fluid and receptive and reciprocal, right? So maybe you want to think about in your heart what makes you happy. This is the sun in Libra. Perfect. But you know what's interesting is you'd think Libra is partnership, but this is all about being harmonious with yourself right now, in your heart, in your mind, and being grounded about that. Right? This is also looking to the past with positivity. And I'm also seeing this as allowing others, well, how do I explain this? Allowing things to be as they are. I would also say it would be, when's the last time you were nude? Were you ever nude? When were you, or if ever, have you been nude in, like, out in the world? You know what I mean? Like, not in the shower, not hidden under the covers, like, really just like, woo, like, here I am, there's my body. Something like that. Maybe you want to feel, there's something here where if you take that time, maybe some of you are healing some body issues, or somebody else's, like, is it your issue? Is it maybe disengaging from some kind of mindset or experience that you've had in relation to your body? Okay. Good start, Cancer. 12-12. Fucking right, Baba. Okay. I guess this could also be in your partnerships too. There may be other people that are also working through that. So maybe, I guess, just allowance. What's an allowance? When someone says, okay, well, if you do this, I'll give you that. Right? This is worth that. You okay? You got itchy ear? Got itchy ear. Did you eat your whole bone? Mm-hmm. Oh, did you know Zumi's either a Cancer or a Libra? I celebrate her birthday both. Are you a Cancerian? You're pretty moody sometimes. It's very sensitive. Also the brightest light ever. Okay, what's your second card, Cancer? Concentration. So, this is Saturn and Gemini. In Vedic astrology, this is a karmic, sexual karmic energy. It can be kind of a hard lesson. That's for some of you to be aware of. It could be where just other people trigger you, or just things that you've had to endure. This is also not being, where someone sometimes can be afraid to speak, or they're afraid of their own words. Do you see what we just did there? It's like, but I guess what this is showing, at least in this time frame, 1414, okay? Little synchronicities, right? If you're quiet, Saturn, silent even, it may be helpful to just listen. Saturn and Gemini, listen, right? Listen to your body. Really listen to what other people are saying. And because sometimes this can be also it depends on on aspects, but it can be a little bit of one who has a difficult time learning a lesson. Like, not exactly a learning disability, but where it takes, you have to go over something, you want to go over something a couple times to be able, it's almost like, oh, I got to read that sentence again. Or maybe you need to listen to this reading, for instance, twice, right? You want to, before you send an email, you want to read it twice, right? Before you respond with that text, you really want to read it twice. And again, wait, be silent, give it, even give it a couple days, For some of you, this could be a couple months of practicing this too, would be very good. I take a lot of silent days. Whenever I can, I try to. Like, no music, no internet, nothing. Really disengage from other people, from even my friends, everybody I love. Just to see what my brain says, see what comes up. And it's always intriguing. It's always enlightening. Okay. Good girl, baby. Let's see what your third card is. Just a minute. Oh, Scorpio will have a message for you. Cancer. Oh, alright. You got two there. But then we have this one. Alright, that one will be later. So you receive two at the same time. We have egotism and power. There's Scorpio. The moon in Scorpio, Mars in Leo. Okay, so we got a rooster. We got a cock. You have to think about men in your life. Some of you it may be very helpful to think about sex. But this is like sex and the root chakra and the heart chakra need to be at the same time, right? Sometimes Mars and Leo can be like a really fast, like, oh, I'm going to create really fast and I'm not going to think about it. I'm just going to rooster it, like I'm going to be like cock-a-doodle-doo. Really trying to, this is also doing for those that you love, right? Oh, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? But the question is, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need, Cancer? What do you need? What do you need to, apparently you need to rest. The moon in Scorpio, this is a very deep place in ways of obtaining absolve for old emotional wounds. And realizing that you can work through that. Or there may be a little bit more to work through with something. Or again, just focusing like, okay. Again, I'm seeing this like High Priestess columns. It's like really, her eyes are open, but it's like laying down, just being quiet. Maybe what time are you waking up? What time are you going to bed? There could be an adjustment there. Maybe some of you even have a little bit of insomnia, right? Because I'm seeing like when the rooster caws, is that the word? No. When the rooster cock-a-doodle-doos, sometimes it's like 3:30. I woke up the other day at like 3:30 in the morning because my subconscious space I've been doing a lot in that unconscious world, and it's a lot, right? But this rooster was waking up the world then. That's early. So maybe you want to watch that. I know some people say that's supposed to be like a spiritual enlightenment, but to me it's like where the unconscious is so stressed out that it can't deal, so it wakes you up so that the balance is there. So if you are having a hard time How do I see this? Well, I guess waking up with the dawn would be helpful. And being in bed by like 8 would also be like really trying to unwind. You know, we're not nocturnal creatures. We're not supposed to be up late at night. I mean, 2020, fascinating. It can be inspiring, the moon, right? The nighttime obviously is going to bring different energy than during the day, right? These are total, here's the sun and here's the moon, you know? But just want to be aware of that. And again, this goes back into that Lagos Merkstave, right? Like, you have to know what the power that you have and what you can do, okay? Because there's something about trust here that you're trying to figure out. Ah, yes, endurance, right? Sun in Scorpio. This is also a Leo card to me. You have 2 8th house. 3rd, 5th, 7th, and 8th house, if you want to go there. So this is, well, you have to remember, anything feral, right? Scorpio and Leo are both, they're the only feral animals in the zodiac. Which, mind you, zodiac just means wheel of animals in Greek, right? Those 2 signs can never be tamed by another person. They have to tame themselves. Can never control them, you know? Like a Taurus, you could be like, hey, you do this. And Taurus is like, okay. Like, it'll do it because it is happy to do it. It's an animal that works with the human. Do you know what I mean? Like, they work together. It's like, okay, we're going to plow the field. And the bull's like, yeah, all right, we're going. It, like, waits for someone else to tell it what to do. But Leo, Scorpio are very... this energy is more, again, feral. So it's going to do what it needs to do. But it's also very strong to be aware of. This is intuition. This is instinctual awareness. Just a minute. You have the sun here a lot. The sun, the moon, Mars, and Saturn. The sun, the moon, Mars, and Saturn. It's hot today. I love it. I needed the sun so badly. I asked for it and it has been received. I am so grateful. Cancer. I feel like we were talking fast there. Let's slow down a second. All this sun energy, right? Hawk. I do feel like Scorpio's reading will be helpful. Let's look at one more. There we go. You receive the card of intuition. 4th house now. Mercury in Cancer. Oh, there's that sitting, like, open root chakra. Quiet. Well, this is also listening to how you feel. Listening to quiet. That will possibly be uncomfortable, though. Try not to stop anything that comes when you're quiet. Okay? Whether this is a fear, this is, I don't know, whatever it is. And remember that whatever has, in ways of experience, because this is Pisces time, so this is about healing, right? It's about cleansing. It's allowing darker places to sink to the heaviness, to sink to the bottom so that all the light can come to the top. right? So if there's a knocking, just be like, who's there? Who is it? And I don't feel like I feel like for most of you, rather, I feel as if for most of you, this would be something where, you know, I heard anger. You know, it's like, okay, what's on the other side? Or fear. It's like, what's okay? And then I saw someone open the door, and it's like, you sit down with that emotion. You know what I mean? Or you sit down with that feeling. And really sit with it, because remember, again, experiences, whenever it has been, I don't personally feel as if any experience is given to us to purely hurt us. It's to purify something. In my perspective, it could even be from past lives, whatever, family kinds of situations, right? I actually just read in the Bible recently, and it's interesting because it came to me many years ago now, about 3 generations back, and I read in the Bible that it actually says that, where it's like what your family sowed 3 generations ago will be reaped upon you. So maybe you want to think back a little bit to that, which also Aries talked a lot about their ancestors. Now, of course, you can't control anything, but the beautiful part of this is there's always good with the bad. Do you know what I mean? Whatever that may be. So again, I heard knock, knock, knock. Who's there? Fear. Okay. And then again, I keep seeing, it's like you kind of steady yourself, ready yourself, and then you're like, okay. And you don't invite them into your house. You walk out, right? You shut your private space, right? You shut the door. It's like, oh, okay, boop, behind you, close. You don't allow it to come in again. Because obviously this sort of means it's outside of you now. It's not really a part of you. It's just around you. And then you sit down and be like, wow, where'd you come from? And someone's like, oh, I've come from a long way. I've traveled a long way to find you. And it's you, I guess, being sympathetic with yourself, with those experiences, perhaps. Good, Cancer. Good. Okay. Yeah. I believe that's that. Believe in yourself, okay? And what do you believe is important, right? Because I guess depending on what you believe will dictate a bit of how you feel. Okay. I know how much energy I had funded, and now I feel I've spent that for this time, right in this moment. So I love you so much, Cancer. Thank you for being a part of this life. I hope you have a wonderful month. Please take care of yourselves and go slowly in this time, right? I'll talk to you next time.